Welcome to this episode of our book read-through of Elon Musk, Woke Messiah by Albion. We left off on this page here. And it starts with a poem that reads, "If you were to magnify me, I wonder what exactly you'd see. Would you see my molecules there? And would you see molecules of air? And would you see just where I ended? Or would my molecules and the air be blended?" Huh. Didn't he talk about that in one of his blurbs earlier? Thinking about yourself at that atomic level and how that might change the way you see things. But yeah, where do you start and where does your environment begin? Next, we have an Albion blurb from 2075 that reads, "What am I if not my memories, my mental history? So powerful and influential, what molds beliefs and actions more? Yet so intangible in nature they leave no direct footprint. Would memories from a life imagined not be as real? How delicate is our reality, how easily skewed and manipulated. Our memories change, our memories meld, our memories drift away. Our memories are not what they were or will be. Certainly today is not certainty tomorrow. Even change inevitably changes. All that survives time is the idea of absolute certainty, an unsettling fact that even our truth is subject to change." And then in bold it reads, "Memories from a life imagined are inevitably unsettling." Yeah, he definitely talked about memory before and how imperfect they could be, and it's kind of impressive how much of a foundation, personally or as a society, we have, understanding that what we know or what we remember isn't a perfect replica of what happened. Below that is a Bertrand Russell quote that reads, "Three passions, simply but overwhelmingly strong, have governed my life: the longing for love, the search for knowledge, and unbearable pity for the suffering of mankind." Longing for love, the search for knowledge, and pity for the suffering of mankind. So love, look for knowledge, and feel bad for those suffering. I think that's probably a good way to live life, at least a foundation. Next page, we have a heading that says, "What if?" What if the Earth was an electron that moved around the sun, the nucleus of our solar system, or of the solar system, making our way to Mars, simply another electron orbiting the same nucleus in a world of seemingly infinite atoms? Yeah, I think most people, you look at the structure of an atom and the structure of the solar system, and you can obviously see some similarities. A big nucleus in the middle, surrounded by kind of like orbiting planets or electrons, whatever that may be. Yeah, that brings in the whole question of scale, how you're looking at things, but kind of interesting. Below that, the Albion blurb from 2074 that reads, "I watch how we abhor the ordinary, hate the everyday. We condemn it passionately in ourselves and brutally in others. We condemn it in our environment, our most perfect environment. We pull away from the ordinary, searching for something greater. Yet, we are naturally drawn towards equilibrium, towards the ordinary. We want to be accepted yet unique, a rare combination. We want the best of both worlds, selfish and foolish. One who does not understand this is left desperately wanting. One who does understand this is left sadly depressed." I don't know. So what's he talking about? And I think he had an earlier poem about this, wanting to be unique and accepted at the same time. I don't know if he's talking about abhorring the ordinary, like We're always looking for stimulation, and we abhor being maybe bored or the everyday, the ordinary. Below that is a statement in large print that reads, "This book is a blatant forgery." Okay. Okay. So I don't know if he's talking about a literal word for word forgery of another book out there, or the ideas, possibly, or if he's making a bigger statement. Okay. Next page. I have a heading that says Messiah definition. And it reads, a leader or savior of a particular group or cause. So obviously the subtitle is Woke Messiah. So if Elon Musk is a messiah, he's a leader or savior of a particular group or cause, I guess what would that group or cause be? He definitely has a lot of followers. What is his cause? I don't know if you're gonna define it. Based on what you've heard from him and seen him do, it seems like it's a pretty noble cause. Trying to create a sustainable Earth and a sustainable human population, even to the extent of exploring other planets. I guess in that sense, he could definitely be seen as a messiah. Below that is the Albion blurb from 2061. It reads, all knowledge seems to come from religion, philosophy, or science. Religion is applicable in all aspects of life, all-encompassing. It is not hindered by logic or proof, not accountable. However, this gives the skeptic much to say for doubt. Philosophy is accountable to logic, but not proof, partly accountable. This diminishes what philosophy covers, but also decreases its skeptic. Science covers considerably less area than both religion and philosophy. However, science is rigidly accountable to both logic and proof. This leaves very few skeptics, the most valid of knowledge. Whatever mixture of these one subscribes, understanding is still incomplete. I think it's talking about like all knowledge is kind of, and he's mentioned this, kind of on a spectrum. And you want to answer all the questions you have, but some of those answers, or where you get those answers, might be a little less valid as far as proof, maybe. And then bold, it reads, religion gives the skeptic considerably less proof. So just reiterating that aspect. Below that is a Bertrand Russell quote that reads, the hardest thing to learn in life is which bridge to cross and which to burn. What's important and what's not important, maybe. It's a lot easier looking back, but in the moment, sometimes it can feel like a huge dilemma when the right choice isn't obvious. All right, next page. Top blurb says, in 2029, Elon Musk legally changed his name to one word. Until the end of his life, he was simply known as blank. One word. Okay, maybe we'll get some more info on that going forward. Like Prince or Cher or something like that. Below that is a LBM blurb from 2044 that reads, everything is encompassed and held within the same universal truth. Any two objects invariably have a number of similar qualities. As knowledge increases, these similarities grow as connections are made. As knowledge increases and becomes absolute, these similarities become absolute. In essence, these two things become one and the same. We are creatures that love to differentiate, love to judge. We love to classify and sort, love to make choices. We love the unique, the obscure, and the truly rare. Perhaps we should embrace our similarities more than our differences. Perhaps these similarities will bring us closer to pure truth. And then in bold it reads, creatures should embrace similarities. Yeah, so what's this saying? The more you learn about two different things, the more similarities or connections you can make between them. That makes sense. But I guess on the flip side, the more differences you could also make. I think he's saying maybe we're more prone to look at the differences as we classify them or break them down, when we could just as easily look at the similarities. More that duality again. And yeah, maybe it depends on the situation, which one makes sense, or maybe do them both. Yeah, looking at both sides of that spectrum when we're trying to implement knowledge. Below that is a poem entitled Countless Questions, and it reads, I had a question, so I read, so my wonder would be fed. I found an answer and 2 questions more. I answered them, but then found 4 more questions I had to know, and this is how my brain did grow. Yeah, the more you learn, the more questions you find, maybe more questions than answers. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. Very good. I think that is where we'll end the episode today. Join us for the next episode, and until then, have a great day.